I flipping love that music. John has changed the music accompanying the podcast, and I'm off screen just bebopping to it. I just absolutely love it. Hi, everybody. It's Kaz from Kaz in the World, and no, we do not have John, my beloved podcast partner, so loved on Substack. But unfortunately, John was diagnosed with pneumonia, and he's on the mend, I believe, but he has no voice. So I'm hoping that I will carry on without him and make him proud. I actually have a really good guest today. But yeah, so let's move forward. Typically, how was your week? How was your week? Well, how was my week? I told you last week that I lost one of the dearest people to me in my life. And it's been 17 days. There's a lot of stuff that's been happening, so many texts, so many emails. And it's really helped talking with the family, with friends. I've reconnected with some people who, because of life, we kind of went our separate ways. I've met some amazing people. And I think we're, as a community, surrounding my brother, Lenny Lenwood Sloan, that us doing this stream of emails and texts has really helped us all. And I think it's something that Lenny would have been so excited about. So happy that he could be a catalyst to bring so many people together. So that was my week. And luckily today, the person I'm going to bring on in just a few minutes, I've known for about 6 or 7 years. We met through a positive aging women's magazine. She was writing for it, and I was writing for it. And I also recorded meditations for it because it was a digital magazine. It was so cool, ahead of its time. And then we also were a part of this positive aging women's alliance. And after that, we've been just carrying on and been in touch. And she's the greatest touch tone, and you will find out the reason when I bring her on. And let me talk a little bit about her. And I've got copious notes because she's a phenom. Uh, Kristen Coffield is her name, is redefining what it means to thrive in life's third act. As the visionary behind the Culinary Cure and active grandparenting, she's empowering a new generation of grandparents and active agers to seize the limitless potential of their most vibrant years. She also is an expert on hydration and how these we active agers, can keep our mind, body, and spirit in top condition. She's an advocate for owning your longevity and your wellness. Kristen teaches how small, strategic daily habits, starting with hydration, hold the key to a longer, stronger, and more energized life. The author of How Healthy People Eat, an eater's guide to healthy habits, and the creator of the 21-day active grandparenting wellness reset. Kristen shares her expertise across top media platforms, including ABC's 7 Good Morning Washington and Fox 5's Good Day DC. She lives in that area, obviously. And she's been on many other programs, podcasts, interviews. She's a true pro. Through her work, she inspires others to cultivate vitality, resilience, and joy, proving that the best years aren't behind us, they're right now. I've been so lucky. Kristen has kind of been on my speed dial on occasion because I've gone through a few things, and she is so generous to me. Just a couple of days ago, I needed some info on protein, and she was right there giving me her ideas and her input. So, yeah, I'd like to welcome someone I call my friend, luckily, Kristen Coffield.
Hi, Kaz. Wow. I know I wrote that, but it sounded really good the way you read it.
Oh, thank you. Well, Kristen, I can say honestly, it's absolutely fact. It's not like you embellished your CV or your bio. It's not like you're trying to make us go, wow, wow, she's just so amazing. And no, you just spoke the absolute truth about your experience, where you're going, and what you've been doing. And you're very humble, as I was saying, that you're practically on my speed dial and have been for what, 6 years?
Yeah.
When you have information for me that can help me both professionally and personally. So, that being said, I wanted to start out talking about how you started on Instagram. What was it, about 12 years ago now?
Yeah, it was maybe not, probably more like 10. I'd have to go
10.
back and look, but, it was one of those things where I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna start an Instagram account," and my kids were like, "Mom, you can't post that," or "Don't do that," or "Oh my god, that's so embarrassing." So, like you with social media, you kind of we are immigrants to technology.
I love
Right.
that.
So I'm
I
in my
love that.
50s and I'm like, getting on Instagram. And it's such an interesting journey. I know we can talk a little more about that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, and the evolution of you've done what a lot of us have done, including me, of kind of throw the spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks. What is your niche? How do I find my niche? How do I express my niche? And I mean, you are definitely niched, but it's got these four prongs,
Yeah.
which I think is amazing that you've been able to discover that. And from what I saw, and Kristen has over 230,000 followers. And I know she didn't start up off with
Yeah.
that, but she's earned every single one because this woman works her butt off. She is constantly working. Her editing is impeccable. The subject matter is really, really relevant to so many people. And if you're not of grandparenting age or you're not a grandparent, it doesn't matter. She has so much important information that will help you move forward in life. So you became a grandparent, and I think that may have kicked all of this off, including what you were doing prior with the hydration and the culinary cure. Would you please talk about that?
So the genesis of all of this is really interesting because it starts in culinary. My background is culinary. I am a chef. I had a catering company for a number of years, and when my mom's cancer came back, I
Mm.
really turned to food as medicine. So I was in the food as medicine space before anybody really knew what it was. I was a little ahead of my time. And I would talk about, well, the most important supplement that you're taking is what you're eating. Food is 80% of the wellness equation. So that was where I started. I started as a chef. I moved into food as medicine to try to help my mom heal on
Mhm.
her cancer journey.
Mhm.
And I was in that space for a long time. Well, anyone who's on any social media platform knows that wellness is a crowded space. And I had this culinary wellness angle where even on my website now at the Culinary Cure, there's over 200 recipes that people can access. And
Love them.
that is my
Love them.
passion, and they're healthy.
Yeah.
And even though I'm a chef, and I wanna really get some clarity here, just because I am a great cook doesn't mean I wanna spend more time in the kitchen. And that's kind of where I am at 67 in my life. I'm eating a little more. I want my food to be delicious, but I don't wanna have to spend hours preparing it. And I know
Mhm.
everybody else is right there with me.
Yeah.
So I want to get the job done, but I also want to really enjoy it. So I'm in this culinary wellness space and I'm plodding along and I get myself up to about 25,000 followers and I'm pretty dang thrilled with that. That was
Ah,
hard earned. It took me, 8 years. And then when I became a grandparent for the second time, I posted a video of me holding my grandchild and doing the thing where you sit down and then you stand up without using your hands. Now, to be clear, I was holding there's a picture of me holding my grandchild, but I'm actually holding a baby doll in the
yeah,
video. No
yeah.
children were harmed during the making of this reel.
The practice of this video.
Right, just in case. So, I do that and I hashtag active grandparenting because I realized that's kind of what I'm doing. My husband and I are very fit. I've been in the wellness space for a long time. I am known as the queen of morning lemon water. I have thousands of people who reach out to me randomly and say, every morning when I drink my lemon water, I think of you
Ah,
because
I
I've been
love it.
pounding that drum before anybody else. Like I was like,
Yes.
"Hey, you could do all this other stuff, but if you don't do this thing, it's not going to stick. It's not going to last. It's not going to change your life. You got to get hydrated first." So anyway, I post this video of me getting up and down off the floor with this baby and it goes viral. It gets, I think it's got 1.2 or 1.4 million views right now. I have a couple of active grandparenting videos that have like 4 and 5 million views. And I realized that here was here was an aspect of wellness that nobody was talking about. And when you become a grandparent, or you don't have to be a grandparent, just because I'm saying grandparent, this applies to active agers. So active grandparenting is just a different branch of active aging. And what happens is when you become a grandparent, it tests you on every level. You're going to be getting up and down off the floor 50 times a day. Your sleep wake hours, if you're, spending the night. We spend the night with our grandchildren. We come and babysit for a week at a time. You have to be able to do everything that a 30 or 35-year-old parent does. But you're 30 plus years older.
Mhm.
And you haven't been doing a lot of this stuff in 30 plus years. So even though you might be in good shape, the
Mhm.
functional movements that you need for active grandparenting are a little bit different. It's a lot of lifting. I'm sorry. If, Hello, let me just tell you, I know you're not that. Well, are you there yet? Do you have a grandchild yet?
No, no, no.
Every grandparent hates the car seat. The car seat is like a special hell for grandparents.
It was a
Getting
special
them
hell
in
when I had a little child
Yes,
too.
I have parents who are like, I struggle to do this thing." So getting them in and out, getting the buckles done, if you have little arthritis in your hands, it's even harder. And so you realize, "Oh my god, this is a job I need to train for." And
Exactly. Ex
therefore, active grandparenting. And nothing motivates you like grandchildren.
That's so much energy. I mean, I watch your videos and I get tired. And you you are obviously walking the talk.
Yeah.
You aren't just telling people what to do. I mean, there are grandparents. I mean, my parents were really young parents, and my grandparents, when I was a child, were in their 40s. And I know people I went to high school with, they became grandparents in their 40s. And so it's not just 60s, 70s, 80s, it's 40s, and 50s too. But you have to be and I know you are in incredible shape, and I know you are eating what you say you eat. I know you're moving your body the way you say you're moving it. You're the real deal.
It's not
Uh,
vodka.
there it is. It's not vodka. It's water. Yeah, okay. Since you brought that up, I would like to, I know You've been talking about hydration for a really long time, and I'm a lemon and water girl like crazy. Warm lemon and water in the morning. You just can't live without it. So let's go back and give our viewers some information about hydration, because I guarantee so many of us are walking around. If we're not dehydrated, we are really close, and our body cannot function because what? We're 75 to 80% water. So please, 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 please talk to everyone about hydration.
I'll give the hydration primer. Um,
Yes.
so one of the most important things to realize is that water is something called an essential nutrient. And that means your body can't make it. You have to get it from an outside source. So that's number one. I would like everybody to think of water as a supplement, right? So you take your supplements, but when you think about your supplements, the most important supplement in your stack is water. And here's why. All of your metabolic functions depend on water. Water is kind of like the clean fuel that this engine runs on, and all of your organs depend on it. Your body's detoxification systems depend on it. Um, Everything links back to hydration. So when I talk about hydration, I realized when I was in my 50s, I had a pretty devastating decade. Kind of everything that could go wrong
Mm,
did go wrong.
mm, mm-hmm,
My mom's cancer came back. My estranged dad, became very clear he was having neurological decline. I'm the oldest
mm,
child, so you know
mm.
we know what that oldest daughter this thing is.
Yep.
Um, my marriage was struggling because we got in. My husband had a partner who is a taker. My husband's a giver, and
Mm,
we had three kids in three different schools. We had some private schools in there. We were under a tremendous amount of financial pressure. So
mm.
this didn't happen overnight. It happened over time. Now, these are real world, real life problems that many women experience in their 50s and 60s. That seems to be when a lot of the SHIT hits the fan for
You can
people.
say it.
And I say
We're okay.
because
Yeah.
this is when marriages get rocky. This is when people realize they want something different out of their
Yep.
life, whatever, or whoever that may be. Um,
Been there.
yeah, it happens. And let's not sugarcoat it. These can be very difficult years. So this happened over time, and because I am a very capable woman and I can, I've had my own business for a number of years. You just figure out how to get through. You rob Peter to pay Paul. You max out a credit card to pay somebody's tuition because you think it's going to end, right? You think somehow one day you're going to wake up and it's going to be different. And nobody's coming, as I think Mel Robbins says, nobody's coming to save you. Um,
No.
so I went from this big world with a big social life and lots of friends. And I'm like the go-to girl. Hey, ask Kristen, she'll know. Oh, you need a new roofer? Ask Kristen, she'll know. Involved in my community and my kids' schools. So this big world got smaller and smaller and smaller because when you're living under a tremendous amount of stress and pressure, you have to pull in just to get through the fucking day. And I would wake up in the morning. First of all, I didn't sleep at all. My sleep, like, I don't know when it left, maybe 5 years in. And I just had like anxiety. It was like buzzing all night. And then I'd wake up in the morning and
Exhausted.
my first thought was, when can I go back to bed? I also had an underlying thyroid cancer through all of this. So my thyroid function's going down while the cortisol is shooting through my thyroid. Um, so sometimes there's a thrive or die moment. And for me, there was a morning where I woke up and I was like, this cannot be what the universe had planned for me. This is not how
Mhm.
I imagined my life was going to be. And in that moment, I decided to thrive. And I was like, that's when I did the deep dive on the research on hydration. Because what I was looking for, and guys, this is alkaline water. Yeah, that can be helpful, but there's also a lot of bougie BS that goes with a lot of that. You can just get some inexpensive electrolytes and some hydrogen tablets, and that might do the trick. Um, so in this thrive or die moment, and I go to research the one thing I'm like, this is before AI, so I am literally looking through paper books. I'm literally
Oh
going to
yeah.
the library.
Hmm.
I'm literally doing Google searches, and I stumble on hydration, and what I learn just blows my mind. Here's this essential practice to hydrate ourselves that most people aren't doing. Everybody's running around stressed. What came first, the chicken or the egg? If you're dehydrated, it makes your stress worse. If you're stressed, you're probably not taking the time to hydrate. So I learned about hydration as a practice. So when we think about the practices in our daily life, we're breathing, we're moving, we're eating, we're exercising, we're being mindful, we're sleeping. These are all practices, things we can do that we can get better at. So
Right.
I start with hydration, and I sort of crack the code. I'm getting up, I'm drinking my lemon water, I'm consistently sipping throughout the day. And my sleep is still awful because I still have
Mhm.
a lot of stress. But now when I wake up, I'm like putting on my stuff and I'm going to the gym. I found 5 a.m. workouts because I could lie in bed and be stressed out, or I could put my gym shoes on, go to the gym and work out. And guess what? I start feeling stronger. My sleep improves because I'm burning off some of this stress in my life, and I feel more capable of handling all these challenges that are on my plate.
Mhm.
And the
Mhm.
struggles are very real. So hydration is overlooked, it is underutilized, it is connected to everything in your body, from your hormones. And if you're a grandparent or a woman, over 55, if you're not well hydrated, you're not going to have a whole lot of synovial fluid. That's how your joints move. Your
Mhm.
muscles are going to look like beef jerky instead of beef tenderloin, and they won't have the pliability. So
Yep.
getting up and down off the floor 50 times a day is literally, the Bhutan death march.
Not going to happen.
And you feel it. You're sore after. And that's linked to not being properly hydrated. Guess what? Your gut brain axis, up the vagus nerve. Guess what? Your brain sends a couple of hundred messages to your gut a day. Your gut sends thousands of messages to your brain. So we got to have that good fluid in our spine, in our joints, in our muscles. And when you get properly hydrated, it is easier to improve your sleep, your energy, your mood, and make better food choices. So you're doing this one basic essential step that everybody's skipping. Everybody's looking for the supplement or the this or the that. And if you don't have that hydration in place, nothing else is going to help you or last or work.
And the thing is that we don't think that drinking enough, getting enough hydration, drinking enough water also adds to premature aging of the skin hanging on you. Your skin can't be supple unless it's hydrated.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm just going to go
I mean,
get
this is
Botox, or I'm
67 and I drink a lot of
lot of
water.
water.
A
And she's
lot of water.
fabulous. She's
Yeah.
fabulous. Well, what I know that the recommended daily intake is what they say 8 glasses of 8 ounce or 10 glasses of 8 ounces of
Yeah.
water. I mean, I think it varies from person to person, but if I don't have a minimum of 90 ounces of water a day, things don't function.
Yeah.
They really don't function. And what's your take on that?
Um, I love that. And everything you said is Correct. So it does vary by person and by activity level and where you live.
Right.
If it's hot out, you might need more water.
Yeah.
If you're sweating, I do hot yoga a couple of days a week. I know I need a little extra water on those days. Hydrate. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky. It's not just drinking more water. It's when you drink it, how you drink it, and how you boost it so that the water you drink can get into your cells. Now, the water we're designed to drink would be coming from streams and aquifers and wells. It would be flowing over stones. It would contain minerals and algae and all these essential nutrients
Hmm.
that are not in the water that comes out of our tap. So, yes, you need to filter your tap water. You need to get a good
We
filter.
double filter ours. We
Yeah.
double filter ours.
Yeah, you wanna filter it, but that's also so your water basically that comes out of your tap is inert. It doesn't have
Hmm.
the salts and the elements and the, minerals that you need to get the water into your cells. So this is what happens. People start drinking more water and they're like, "Well, I'm going to the bathroom all the time. I'm up all night." Well, you've got to train your body. Your poor body has for years had to adapt to being underhydrated. So it
Hmm.
takes 2 weeks to become properly hydrated. You can go to my website, The Culinary Cure. There's a free hydration quiz, and I have a 14-day hydration program. It's like $14 or $19 or something. It's minimal, but what I found was I was on a mission to help a million women hydrate better. And I'm giving away my free 14-day hydration training. And what I found was people weren't doing it because they didn't value it. So you have to have a little bit of skin in the game. You
Yep.
know, you've got to make that commitment, spend the $20
Yep. Oopsie.
about your hydration. So that's it takes 2 weeks to become properly hydrated. So you want to start where you are
And
with
that's
half
not, sorry. I'm
with
sorry.
half
Can
your body
finish your thought.
weight in ounces of water. So if you weigh 140, you're going to start with 70 ounces a day.
Hmm. Oh, we've got a little lag here. It could be
You
me.
are going to you do want to start your day with water, not coffee. And you do want to boost your water with electrolytes. And the electrolytes are the missing magic.
Yes, it is. Well, because that's not contained in our water that comes out of the tap. I started in November of 2021. I was in the desert in California. I had to go there unexpectedly because my mom took ill. And my sister said, It's different here than in Florida, so you've really got to drink." So that is what got me in the habit. I have water, about 20 ounces of water on the side of my bed. When I wake up in the morning, I drink that glass of water. I have not skipped one single day since November of 2021. And I it's a habit that I just feel better doing it. And you can talk about that because people need their coffee, they want their tea, they want their orange juice, but we have to concentrate on the fact that caffeine is a diuretic, so it's pulling the water out. Yeah, you're urinating a lot if you're drinking coffee and caffeinated tea. So what do you feel about your drinking fluid, but you have to replenish
Yeah.
for drinking those particular types of fluid?
Yeah. I do want to point out that one of the things I love about your wake up and drink the water habit is when we're asleep, all of our major organs, including our brain, undergo a metabolic detox. And the metabolic waste, it's kind of like the changing of the oil
Hmm.
in your organs. And then that dirty oil, the metabolic waste, ends up in your lymphatic system. And the lymphatic system is located between your muscle and your skin. And it's, yeah, it's like everywhere from, it's
From
all over
here
your
down.
body.
Yep. Hmm.
And the lymphatic system is the trash can of the body, and it can't take that metabolic waste out by itself. It needs help. And how we help it is with hydration and movement. So, those are
Mm.
the two ways we support our lymphatic system. So, starting the day with water, you can still have your coffee, but water boosted with unflavored, very plain electrolytes and a squirt of lemon is your best way to rehydrate after the fast that occurs during sleep. And actually, I have a coffee tip because for people who love coffee, if you can wait 90 minutes after you wake up, so if you can create a morning routine where you're not just putting in that coffee, jacking your hormone, your cortisol, and
Yep.
triggering a hormonal situation for your day where you're just like, whoa, um, you're going to enjoy your coffee more 90 minutes after you wake up. But one of the big benefits is for many people, they have that cup of coffee when they first wake up and then they need another cup. Save your coffee for when it can really help you because
Hmm.
caffeine is something known as a nootropic. It stimulates your brain in a beneficial way. Well, we like that. That's a good thing.
Very.
You do not need a cup of coffee to brush your teeth and go to the bathroom and take a shower and eat your breakfast. You need your coffee for the kind of work that requires a little bit of brain function and focus. Those things we just talked about are habits. You're going to be able to do those with or without your coffee. Or your caffeine. So save your
Right.
caffeine for 90 minutes after you wake up, then it's going to help you with the tasks, whether it's work or whatever it is you're doing,
Getting
whether
the
it's
kids off to school and all
right,
that.
where
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
need to have a little more focus. And then for many people, they find they don't need the second cup.
Hmm. And I'm sure there may be people out there watching this or who will watch this or saying, I cannot get started at all unless I have my coffee first. And my challenge is have your water first with your lemon in it and electrolytes, and then see how you're doing. And I know it will be a challenge because we're used to not hydrating enough. And we want that boost of that caffeine boost. And caffeine, it is being proven, especially in coffee. I know there's quite a few people who don't drink coffee, but there are bazillions of people who do. Caffeine coffee can be very beneficial. It has nutrients that are very beneficial,
Yeah.
as does green tea or matcha. So, but some people are using it to jumpstart their day, and I absolutely need it. So I'm not going to be drinking water first. But I wonder if we challenge them to try the lemon water first thing in the morning, and feel free to message me after you've done it for a couple of weeks and maybe held off that coffee to let me know how you're feeling, because I have a feeling it's going to change things for you in terms of energy and getting going in the morning. I really want to, so that's incredible information about hydration. Let's go into Culinary Cure, because you being a chef and me having prepared some of your, because I'm the type of person, if there are more of five or six ingredients in a recipe, I kind of lose consciousness because I never learned how to cook. My mom did not instill that in me. She didn't want anybody in her kitchen, and I've been able to survival cook, but now I do cook more. Stir fries are super easy. Making soup in a crock pot, super duper easy. All it just takes is the vegetables, or if you put chicken or beef or whatever, or beans and lentils and whatnot. But some of your recipes have really changed how I look at cooking, at preparing. I don't even call it cooking; it's
Yeah,
preparing
yeah,
a meal, a healthy meal. So, can we talk
yeah,
about that for a little bit?
yeah. Um, Being able to feed yourself is a survival skill. And people who understand how to use food intentionally to support their health and wellness have a really big advantage over people who are mindlessly using food. So, food can either help you or it can hurt you. And we know that ultra processed foods are terrible. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, I was on a live that Travelers Insurance did for all their agents. There were like 500 people on this call. And I was on with a gentleman, and I'm not recalling his name, but at that time, he was talking about ultra processed foods. And it was before ultra processed foods was a part of our lexicon.
Hmm.
And one of the problems we have with these ultra processed foods is it's actually a joke to call them foods because they are food like substances, but they are not actual food. So your body knows what to do with real food. Your body doesn't know what to do with artificial ingredients, highly processed ingredients that are transformed from their original form. And what happens is these artificial ingredients and chemicals and sweeteners and flavors get stored because your body doesn't really have a mechanism for processing them. So they
Hmm.
get stored in your fat cells, and they create this low level inflammation. So, for those of you who don't know, it's called IgG inflammation. It's this low level inflammation. You don't really know you've got it. You just know you need 2 cups of coffee to get the engine going in the morning
And you
because
kind of feel bleh,
meh. You're just like,
yeah.
my new normal is meh, right? You're not like waking up and being like, whoa, I'm so excited for this day. So our food's changed more in like this past 60 or 70 years than it has in all of human existence.
I believe that totally.
So the way we farm, the way we process, plastics, emulsifiers, all these things, the way we raise animals, all of these things have changed. And it's changed the end product that's coming to us as consumers. So now meat is cheap. Meat used to be expensive, so people were careful about the meat they ate. They didn't overeat meat. They ate meat, but meat wasn't the primary food on their plates. They ate a lot of vegetables, carbohydrates. For anybody listening, fruits and vegetables are carbohydrates. They are macronutrients. So when we talk about carbohydrates, fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, those are the good ones. When we talk about refined carbohydrates, that's where we're talking about bread and pasta and goodies that are prepackaged and things like that. So the macronutrients, your protein and your fats and your fiber should be the things that your great grandparents ate as children,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Yep, I remember
So
that too. What they fed us at family meals.
just plain food.
Hmm.
It was simple, clean food. So anybody watching this or listening, I want to remind you that when you go to the grocery store, what you're buying, what you're paying for are nutrients. Nutrients are what you're paying for. And if you want to get more nutrients for your consumer dollars, you eat seasonally, you try to buy locally as best you can,
Yeah.
you buy organic, you try to support these local farmers. Let me tell you, these small local farmers, nobody's getting rich bringing those vegetables to the farmer's market on Saturday and then
No.
schlepping back what they didn't sell, Let's support these people so we have more choice. But when we do that, instead of self-selecting our nutrients, and I'm going to go into a little bit more some of the food assembly versus cooking, but
Right. And we
when
also need to address some people say, I just can't afford
Mhm.
to eat organic. I can't afford because meat, I mean, I've even watched if you eat chicken or I don't eat beef. I do eat bison on occasionally or seafood or whatever. It has, it got cheaper because of lower quality protein, and then it's gotten more expensive. But that's, I think, a big reason why people are going to McDonald's and Taco Bell and burger. Sorry, don't mean to call you all out, but going to these fast food restaurants for their $5 menu complete meal because I'm full and it didn't break my budget. It means I can make a meal for my family tonight for dinner, whatever that might be, rice and beans. I don't know. But that's the other thing. People are saying that organic is really difficult to afford. But I remember when I was living in a certain place in Florida, I'd have to drive about, I don't know, 25 miles. It was so much fun. But to this farmer's market, it was a big, well established, long term seasonal farmer's market. And their prices were really, really good. And I think if we do our best to discover these farmers markets, and you were so right, these farmers are not billionaires. They're not, in gigantic mansions. A lot of them are losing their shirts and losing their farms. They really could use our support, and that's why they're there.
Yeah.
So just do a little research. And sorry, continue on.
No, no, and that's this is the scary thing about all of this is that our food has changed so drastically, and these huge conglomerates that control most of the food market determine the prices. There's a lot of greenwashing that goes on, about saying foods are organic when
They're
they're still
not.
doing the food might be organic, but then they do something to it. So this is why it's just so much better. Buy less food, buy better food, and have a plan for all the food you buy, because I am also here to tell you we are wasteful. People throw away a lot of food. I mean, the numbers are staggering. I think it's like 40%. And all this ends up in landfills, and that heats up the planet. So everything is connected. And the choices we make about the nutrients we buy, we need to think of this as, hey, maybe you have to cut back somewhere else, because food is 80% of your wellness equation. And if
Hmm.
you can use food, you know, yeah, organic might be a little bit more expensive, but if you're getting more nutrients, it might be worth it. And maybe
And
it's
consuming less pesticides, less
right.
herbicides, less growth hormones. The only thing that
Exactly.
frustrates me is, sometimes avocados. I just can't seem to eat them fast enough once they're.
You've got to refrigerate them. You know that, right?
Yes, I do that. Um, you never refrigerate them. Is that what
No,
you're
you
saying?
have to
You
refrigerate.
have to, because I've been refrigerating them and they last longer. But when I decide, okay, I'm going to eat this, I'm going to take it out of the fridge. And the day I take it out of the fridge, it's hard as a rock. And a day later, it's
Yeah.
so my
Your
timing
timing's
with
off.
my
Yeah.
timing is so off with avocados. Anyway, please continue.
But that's such a good point. We don't want to waste the food we buy. That is literally throwing money out. So,
Mhm.
my call to action for everybody is to really listen to what we're talking about and think about food a little differently. If you're thinking of this as an investment in your future wellness, and we all know look, let's be real here. Something's going to happen, right? You're going to have a fall, or you're going to get a bad diagnosis, or something could happen. And the goal is to be in the best position to weather that storm.
Absolutely. I couldn't oh my gosh. Because you've had things happen, I've had things happen, I've seen family have things happen. Um and it's so true. I don't want to say it's inevitable, but when we are living life and exposed to toxins in the air, toxins in the water,
You could just
toxins
slip
in
on
the
ice.
ground, slip
Yeah,
oh yeah, slip on ice. Exactly. Fall down the stairs in front of
yeah,
your house in the snow.
yeah.
You know,
It
shit
happens.
happens.
You
Shit
know,
happens.
it
Yeah,
happens.
exactly.
And so what you're trying to do is think of food as a way that you're stacking the wellness odds in your favor, and you're sort of banking your future wellness so that when something does happen, you're going to recover better and faster. And this works. I mean, this really works. For, thousands of years, humans ate a very intuitive way. They ate fermented foods. Because fermentation was used to preserve food, because you didn't have refrigerators and grocery stores and all of this. And then we got the byproducts of fermentation that were so good for us and supported our health in so many ways. I mean, now I have to say, okay, you got to go out and buy kraut, those cold fermented, lacto fermented krauts. And you got to have a couple of forkfuls with every meal, and then don't throw out the liquid, put it in a cup and drink it. That's like a probiotic elixir shot.
Elixir, and I'm sure some people are turning up their nose
It's
now, and I
actually
get it.
quite
I drink
tasty.
apple cider vinegar every day,
Yeah.
and not a lot, maybe a tablespoon in a full glass of water, maybe with some ginger, maybe with some lemon to kind of offset the flavor, but I've kind of gotten used to it. But you're absolutely right. And not all of us are not dealing with something now. There are plenty of people on medication, and
Right.
you add on top being on any kind of medication, and that messes with your body and your biome and all of the systems in your body. So then I mean, I know when I was diagnosed with osteoporosis only in a small part of my body, but you need to take a certain type of calcium, and you need to be on your D3, and you need to be on your MK7, which is K2. And I'm like, is there any way I can do this without taking 85 different supplements every day? And just yesterday, I have been taking these supplements, and I guess I took one on an empty stomach, and bleh, and it was nothing but my stomach said, nope,
Yeah.
that supplement, whatever it was, I think it was my plant-based calcium.
Mhm.
Uh, you had to make sure you have more food in your
Right.
stomach than you actually thought you had.
Yeah.
So we're navigating all of that too. Um, and I talk about wasting food with my husband, and if I ever throw another avocado away, I swear I'm not going to buy another one. But if we can be as conscious as possible about what we're putting in our bodies, and you know what? Everybody's got their Achilles heel. Everybody's got that one or two things that they absolutely cannot live without. It's preventing ourselves from binging, and we just are coming off of the holiday season.
Yeah.
So, and the fruitcake will kill you, but there's other stuff, that isn't in the holiday recipe uh, cookbook. Not all of that is really good for us, and there's some ways to prepare some of those traditional handed down through the family dishes
Yeah.
that can be modified. So getting back to, what are your favorite quick recipes that you think pretty much anyone can gather the ingredients from the store, and it's nutritious, it's delicious, and it is it's just easy to prepare?
Yeah. Yeah. Minimal prep. I am right
Correct.
now running my 21-day wellness reset with a group of 50 people, and there's no alcohol, there's no caffeine, there's no added sugar, there's no artificial ingredients, there's no refined carbs, there's no corn, there's no soy, and there's no conventional dairy. So there's like 8 things that you can't have. And of course, as soon as you tell somebody you can't have that thing, they're like, I want that thing. I mean, literally, I had to go into my freezer and look around because I knew there was a frozen cookie in there. And I had to put it down the garbage disposal because I thought if I put this in the trash can, I might look for it later.
Oh,
You know,
yeah. I
like
mean, who hasn't done
have
that before?
I cannot have the enemy in the house. I am human too.
Yep.
And even though we eat healthy most of the time, um, when you do a full detox and reset, which is a good idea to do because it's always good to assess your relationship with these different things and recalibrate your taste buds so you can taste real natural flavors. I mean, a Cara orange tastes like the best thing I've eaten all week right now.
Yep.
They are so good. So easy recipes that anybody can do. You can go to my website at the Culinary Cure. The banana mug muffin is a game changer.
Oh, that is so good
It's
and
so good.
easy.
It's so easy. It's what gets people through my program because they're like, it's kind of got a bread-like texture. It's a banana, it's an egg, it's a lot of cinnamon, and you put it in a buttered coffee. You whisk them all together and you put it in a buttered coffee mug and cook it in a microwave for like 3 minutes. And it's like this little cake muffiny thing, and it's quite tasty. So the
Mhm.
banana mug muffin, that's 3 ingredients. I think even a monkey could assemble that.
Even I could do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, I am a big fan, and I think everybody should learn how to roast a chicken.
If
It
you
is
eat the animal protein, yeah,
if you
yeah,
eat animal
absolutely.
protein because it feeds all the senses while it's cooking because it smells so delicious. It is very simple to do, and you can get multiple meals out of one chicken. So my husband and I, there's just 2 of us, we can get 3 meals out of
Mhm.
one roaster chicken, or we can get 2 meals, and then I can throw the chicken in a pot and make my own stock, which is really quite easy to do. You
It
just really
is.
throw stuff in a pot with some
Yep.
vegetables and a few other things. You just let it simmer all day.
Mhm.
Chia seed pudding is a great plant-based way to get fiber, fat, and protein to start your day. You could add a dollop of coconut milk yogurt and some pomegranate seeds on the top, and it just feels like a treat. Veg
That's my next one because you had recommended flax and chia for me, and I it just was delivered today, and
Okay.
that's my that's my next healthy
Chia
dessert.
and
I'm excited.
hemp seeds you could add a tablespoon of hemp seeds to the banana mug muffin to get more protein in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Um, let's do rice and beans, but for a lot of people, beans, they don't want to do canned beans. So I say go to lentils. Lentils are a great source of protein. You could do lentils and rice and make a very nutritious dish with some sheet pan vegetables. Sheet pan vegetables, toss some vegetables, cut vegetables in olive oil, throw a little salt in, and put them on a cookie sheet in like a 350 to 400-degree oven. It's not even a recipe. And you just kind of take them out when they look done.
That's my kind of recipe.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
sweet
even do that.
potato. Everybody should be eating sweet potatoes, whether you wrap
Yes.
them in foil, but I have a recipe on my website for cooking potatoes that is perfect. You turn your oven up to, I think it's 400. You take your potatoes, you wash them, you cut them in half, you rub them in oil, little salt, you put them cut side down either on a piece of aluminum foil or a silicone baking sheet, and 30 minutes. And then you take it out, and the cut side has browned and caramelized, and that adds additional flavor and texture. You can put a little butter or olive oil on after that. You can do it with a sweet potato or a regular potato. You can also do it with zucchini. So cut the
Mm.
zucchini in half, and this is a real game changer because zucchini gets a bad rap. It gets mushy when you cook it or it loses its texture. But when you cook it this way on the cookie sheet, again, it kind of browns and the flavors meld and the top is still firm. It's
Yeah.
quite delicious.
And it doesn't taste as astringent too, because that's my thing with zucchini. Sometimes it has that astringent
Right.
flavor. Well, there's a couple more questions I have for you that I really want to ask. N- the first one is switching gears a little bit back to active aging, active grandparenting, your preview to active grandparenting if you end up becoming a grandparent. What are some essential exercises that you feel uh, active agers and or active grandparents need to be doing, given, you know, their knees, their hips, their ankles, feet, whatever's going on with them? And nothing, I have a hip issue, a foot issue, and nothing that I have seen you do has been an issue for me. But I also have stayed really active all of my life. But something simple that people can do, or maybe they're doing it, but you have a kind of different take on it. What are your ideas?
Well, squats are a big one because if you're with grandkids, you're going to be squatting. I'm just saying, there's a lot of squatting that happens.
Yes.
I actually, the yoga move that's, what is it, where you malasana squat, right? And I call that the toddler squat. But doing, doing squats is really helpful, and you should start where you are. You don't have to like jump right to squats. You could start with sit to stand chairs where,
Yep.
like here's my chair, right? And I'm just
Yep.
going to practice sitting and not using my hands and standing. So,
Hmm.
and then you work your way towards what is a squat,
Just
right?
touching the chair, right?
Yeah. So that's a really good one to start with. Walking.
Love to
Everybody
walk.
should be walking more and throwing in a little walking backwards. So when you find a nice grassy spot, practice on the grass walking backwards. That's really good for your mind, body. We need to keep the brain and body connected.
Active. My husband wondered why the hell I would be walking on a trail or something, and all of a sudden I just flip around and
Yeah.
start walking backwards, waving at him. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "This is really good for the body and the brain."
Yeah.
For me, he recently had major back surgery, so he's just coming back
Mhm.
from that. But he walking is really he's advancing to walking more and more and more for his recovery. And yeah, I love to walk. I absolutely love to walk. So that's really two very good tips. And the thing is that, people say, well, my knees, my hips, my ankles, my feet, whatever. You don't have to go parallel to
Right.
the ground. You can just do a mini squat. You can do it with your feet a little closer together, a little farther apart, kind of a little bit of a sumo. You can modify all of this
And
and
you can
start.
see this, you can go to my Instagram at Kristen Coffield and see these exercise recipes. Another one
Right.
would be planks. I think planks are really good because you could start on a table or your kitchen
On the wall.
on the
Yeah,
wall, and you can work your way up to a full plank on the floor. But these sort of things where you start where you are and you just start doing more, and
right.
that's really the key, is start doing more. We don't have to be sedentary. Our modern lifestyle really moves us in that direction. We're sitting in front of screens. And this electromagnetic energy from screens is actually very dehydrating. So please make sure your hydration practice is in place. Please make sure it's winter that you throw open your windows in the
Mm,
morning and let fresh air in, because all those stale exhales are in your bedroom. And if you are thinking about what you want your future to look like, it starts today. So your habits are 43% of what you do every day. And what I encourage everyone to do is make sure their habits are supporting their long term wellness goals, starting with hydration. And you can take the free hydration quiz at theculinarycure.com.
So, do you have in a couple of sentences a message, what you'd like to say that you may not have said to kind of wrap it all up in a beautiful little bow for all of our viewers and the coming viewers that will see this on other platforms? What intel, what beautiful wisdom do you have? I mean, all of it has been beautiful wisdom. You've given us a lot in this really wonderful hour. But if you could just wrap it up, what would you say?
I think as someone who's seen their parents decline, and I still have my in-laws 92 and 93,
Wow.
we're lucky because we have all this information available to us. But if we want to stay strong and independent and in control of our health, and if we want to be included in the lives of our children and grandchildren, it's really on us to take ownership of our health and wellness. Nobody can do this for you. Nobody can hold you accountable. You have to make it important to you, because if you lose your health, you're going to spend all your time and money trying to get it back.
Mm.
So getting in better shape, changing the way you eat, practicing hydration and better sleep, and working on, managing your stress, because stress and inflammation are like wicked stepsisters.
Hand in glove. Yep.
Mhm.
Hmm.
These things can add, if you want to live younger, longer, and better, it starts with your habits today.
Well, with that, I think that I'm sure the viewers have gotten a lot. I can feel people now. I'm intuiting that there have been some note taking, either handwritten or on their computer. I just want to thank you so much for being here and for sharing all of this with us. I am absolutely honored and so fortunate to call you my friend. And I wish John could have been here with you because he always has some really incredible, insightful questions. And I would be more than willing to bet he's going to say, would you come back another time?
Of course. I mean,
Yay!
we barely touched on fiber
I know. Oh my
and
gosh.
healthy fat.
Yeah. Oh, and I thought about both those things. You mentioned fiber, you mentioned healthy fat, and I go, oh, we got to go there. Oh, we got to go. Well, we're going to go there next time. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, John, for being an incredible trooper and making sure we got this podcast up and running. And everybody, hopefully John will be back next week and we'll see you then.